Hello Eurovision friends, thank you so much for coming to my channel Eurovision Histories. Today I want to talk about all the songs in the Ukrainian national final Vidbir 2024, which will select the country's entry for Eurovision in Malmö. I will talk about each of the songs, giving you my opinion, what I like, what I dislike about the songs, and then at the end of the video I will also try to answer the question you can see right there. Who should Ukraine send to Eurovision? Which songs have the best chance in Eurovision to do well, and is there one or two songs that could actually do it and deliver another victory for Ukraine in Eurovision? Now, this is not a traditional reaction video. I will not show you the videos or play the songs, and there are three reasons for that. Number one is copyright. Number two is that I personally don't like these reaction videos where people just show you the performance or the song and go wow or amazing, and that's the whole video. I like to talk a bit more about the songs. And then third of all, I also want you to go and listen to the songs, and the artists can profit from you listening to them, even if it's just 0.003 cents per listen. I will be using a tier list that you can see right there. I have to put all of the songs into this tier list. There's amazing, great, good, okay, and not my cup of tea. Before I start doing that, I wanted to tell you that Vidbir for me is one of the best national finals, if not the best national final. I really have to say that Ukraine is a Eurovision powerhouse. They are masters really at combining modern elements with traditional elements and finding amazing songs that represent them. I love Goa, for example, with Shum. Kalush Orchestra is another example of this, and they are just amazing at having respect for cultural traditions and putting that into the songs, but also adding a lot of modern creativity to that. And if you know me and if you followed this channel, you know that that is exactly what I like about a Eurovision song, having traditional elements, a bit of national language as well. And so I am really, really excited, and I was really excited to listen to the songs from Ukraine. All right, let's get right to it. The first song I want to talk about is Paalala by Anka. And here already you can see what I just said. She combines the traditional flute, which is beautiful, with this electronic beat that makes it sound really, really modern. It's an incredibly catchy song, but I also think that it's a bit too repetitive. It kind of goes through the motions and there's not a lot of variation in the song. So for now, I'll put it in good. Then next up, we have Drevo. And you might be a bit surprised by this because I saw that a lot of fans don't like this, but I really, really do like this. I like the lyrics. He sings, can you feel my pain, the pouring rain, and then an endless chain, like you're stuck in this situation that isn't really changing, which is kind of reflective of the state that Ukraine is in at the moment, I guess. And he also sings In Your Arms I Long to Be. I really like his cool, raspy rock voice that really goes with this kind of song. And the anthemic chorus is also really, really good. There seems to be some stylistic elements that are very present in a lot of these songs of Vidbir 2024, and one of them is choral and choir elements, which is understandable because it creates this feeling of a community that is very strong in Ukraine at the moment, I guess. But you also have lots of Eurovision in the 60s kinds of lyrics like La 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 or Paalala, but Endless Chain is not one of these songs that has these kinds of lyrics, and I'll put it in the great tier because I really do like it. Next up, we have Ingret with the song Keeper. Again, very nice lyrics. We found our home, but you had to go. We are mothers, brides, daughters. We are the light. I think the song talks about the women that are left behind when the men go to war. And she says, we are the light. They are keeping the city running. They are keeping the community running while the men are away. And so it's a really nice song talking about the sisterhood that women feel as well at the moment, I think. It is very atmospheric. I like the part where Ukrainian comes in. So it's a song in English, but then you have a part that is in Ukrainian, which makes it more powerful to me. And I also do like the beat. And so I'll also put this in the great tier. I think it's a very good national final, so I don't have to put anything in the lower tiers, but we'll see in a minute. Next up, we have Melovin with Dreamer. Lots of Eurovision fans had waited for this because obviously he was in Eurovision already and people know him. It is a song in English. It's about resilience. The lyrics, in some ways, I understand, and there are some moments that are really, really good lyrically, but then there are other moments where the English is not 100%, and I'm not a native speaker, but I kind of notice it and it kind of takes me out of the song. So it would have been nice to have someone, you know, look at the lyrics and make them 100% correct. I do like the beat. Again, we have a choir in the background that adds a lot of oomph to the song, which is cool. It is a cool, modern, dynamic song as well, and it builds, which is something I really, really like. Throughout the song, the dynamic is getting better and better. And then I also like the part where he counts the 1, 2, 3, the staccato part. So it's a good song, but the English, unfortunately, is what makes this, and the lyrics, what makes this a bit below average to me. And that's why I put it in the good tier, even though I know that a lot of people really, really like it. Next up, we have Nahba with the song Glass. Lots of voice effects in this, and that is something that kind of concerns me a little bit because I don't know how they will replicate this in Vidbir and if they're chosen in Eurovision, because it's not allowed in Eurovision 100%. I do think it's a very catchy song. I like how first it's her singing and then he comes in with an even more heavy metal sound and voice effects. But I have a feeling that if the distortion in the voice, this metallic sound is not there, it might fall a bit flat. And that is something that I'm a bit concerned about. And they look impressive. I think they have one of the best looks in the national final. But overall, I'm a bit concerned that they might not be able to replicate the sound they have in the studio version. Then we have a song that is kind of a guilty pleasure for me, Nazva with Slavic English. This is just so funny. I love listening to it. First of all, the chorus is incredibly catchy, incredibly fun. It kind of reminds me of Moldovan entries like Trenule Tool. You kind of go along with it. The la 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 is really cool. And the lyrics are just funny. Like they go wonderful, brilliant. And kind of, I think they're making fun of people singing in bad English instead of their national language in Eurovision. Maybe that's an overinterpretation, but I really, really like how they make fun of the accent, and it's just a fun song. And so I will put this in the great tier, which might be a bit surprising to some people, but I really do think that this is a good song. Then, and the fiddle in the chorus just makes me love this song quite a bit, I have to say. Then we have Skylerr with Time Is Running Out. It's a song in English and Ukrainian. It's a very catchy pop song, not a lot of traditional elements here, and I feel like it lacks variation. It kind of goes through the same motion over and over again, and so that is why I'll put it in the okay tier, even though listening to it the second time, I actually liked it, so I'll put it in a good tier for now. Then we have Yagody with Tsunamia, and this is a song that really is right up my alley. I really like this. It feels like Go A meets Kalush Orchestra meets Horodoni, the Slovakian song from a few years ago. I love the Eastern harmonies they have in their voices. The power it projects as well, the choir elements again that come in here. And then you have the rap that comes in that unites modern Ukraine and traditional Ukraine because the beat just continues and it just flows really, really beautifully. It's not like you have the traditional part with modern elements and then you have the rap part and then you have the traditional part again. It kind of flows really nicely. And I think the staging will be really important for this. There's this instrumental part in the middle where you can really do a lot with staging, and it will depend a bit on that. I think it could have been a bit more dynamic, a bit more variation, but overall, I really, really love this song, so I'll put it in the amazing tier. And it just does what I said earlier, uniting modern elements and traditional elements, which Ukraine is always very, very good at. Then we have a song that does this amazingly well as well. Alyona and Jerry Heil, Teresa and Maria. I love, love, love the choir effect you have throughout the song. It creates this feeling of power, of community, of sisterhood. It's really, really good. And you have these Eastern vocal techniques, these very specific harmonies in the choir part, which makes this song stand out, but it's not too much, I think. So it's still accessible to a European audience, which makes this really, really good. I do like the anthemic feel the song has as well. And it, again, combines traditional and modern elements. You have the beginning with the choir and the Eastern vocal techniques, and then the beat is very modern, and the beat stays throughout the song and connects everything together. And then you have the rap part where the beat and the melody kind of stay the same, but you add this very modern rap by Alyona, and I just think it fuses together perfectly, it flows perfectly, and that is what makes a interesting, fresh, diverse song, but it's also a great song because everything comes together. It's not like you have one part that is traditional, then you have one part that is a rap part, and then you go back to the traditional part. It is really coming together like a product, like a real artistic experience and a great song, and I really, really love that. I also think that the lyrics are the best in the competition. Really intriguing. There's lots to interpret, I think. She sings, "Your happiness is in your head. We're on a thorny path, but they're always with us. Our ancestors are always with us." So you have this respect for tradition and for the people that came before you that infuses this song. But then there are also lots of elements about womanhood, about sisterhood, about sticking together. She, of course, sings Mother Teresa and Diva Maria are with us all the way. And people have been speculating what this is referring to. I read that Ukrainian soldiers have stitched into their uniforms a morale patch with Holy Mary. So it could be referring to that is always with them on the thorny path. And then Mother Teresa, maybe because the Sisters of Mother Teresa stuck around in Ukraine to help people after the war started. And the Ukraine Defense Ministry has actually also posted a quote by Mother Teresa to say, "We're here and we're standing strong." So really, really good song, great lyrics, and that is why this is actually my favorite in Vidbir 2024. Then we have, you can't see the name, unfortunately, sorry about that. It is Yaktak with La La La. This is one of the favorite, it seems like. It has a rap part, it is catchy and fun. I especially like the instrumental elements, and the La 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 is what really makes this catchy. And it's a good song, so I'll put it in the great tier. I really like to listen to it quite a bit. Then next up we have, and last but not least, we have Ziferblat with a German name, quite interesting. I don't know, maybe in Ukrainian it's the same word, which is Place I Call Home. This is the most, let's say, Western song. It's completely in English. The music is Western. There's no traditional elements. And that could make it stand out. I do like this song. It's catchy, it's nice. It kind of lacks the special aspect that the other songs have. Now, let's talk about who Ukraine should send to Eurovision, in my opinion. Which of these songs has the best chance to do well for Ukraine? I kind of picked out 4 that I want to talk about. They seem to be the favorites when you look at the streaming numbers on YouTube, for example, but also at fan polls and what people have been saying. And 2 of them are also my favorites that you just saw. First of all, Yaktak, as I said, very catchy song, very modern. The rap part is really cool. The instrumental elements are really cool. And he has 175,000 views on YouTube already. And he has this coolness about him also. You can see it in the picture as well. That could work really, really well. I think he could definitely qualify from a semifinal. Like most of the songs in the Ukrainian national final this year, I think would actually be able to qualify. I do think that this would get a lot of televotes. Ukraine has been a powerhouse in the televote anyway, but it might struggle a bit with the juries. So he could have a good chance to do relatively well, but he's not my #1 choice. Then we have Yagody. You've heard me say that I really like this. A lot depends on the staging, but it does fuse a lot of interesting elements that will make it stand out, I think, in Eurovision. The problem with this one is I think it could get a lot of televote, but the juries might bury it a little bit. We saw that with Go A and Shum, for example. The juries didn't really like it. And also Kalush Orchestra got a lot less jury votes than televotes. And so if they send it, I would be really, really happy because I like the song, but I don't think it has the best chance out of the selection. Then Melovin is a fan favorite, but I think that is a bit because he was at Eurovision already and people know him already. His video has 176,000 views, which is also very good. But I think he has the advantage that he has already been to Eurovision with Eurovision fans. With the general audience, they will not remember that he was already there. I do think that the song is good and it can appeal to both televote and jury vote. I think with the juries, though, he could suffer a bit because of the English, because of the partly nonsensical lyrics in some cases. And we already saw in his last Eurovision participation that he was not loved by the juries at all. So I also wouldn't select him if I were Ukraine. What I would send to Eurovision is this song, Alyona, Alyona and Jerry Heil, because it has traditional elements, modern elements, but it is not too traditional, I would say. I think the juries could really go for this, despite the fact that it has traditional elements, whereas Go A, Shum and songs like that were maybe a bit too in that lane. They have amazing voices. It all comes together really well. It has good lyrics that go with current events as well. And so I think that this is Ukraine's best chance to do well at Eurovision. And if they choose this and they have a great staging, and Ukraine usually has a great staging, I think that this could actually do it and win Eurovision for Ukraine. We've seen that Ukraine has gone up in the odds after these songs were revealed. And I think a lot of the excitement is about exactly this song by Alyona, Alyona and Jerry Heil. It also has the feminism aspect to it in the lyrics and with these two women on stage. So that could help it as well. And it is the big, big favorite, I would say, because it has 400,000 views on YouTube already. And the second one is Melovin with, as I said, 176,000. So you can see that they are really favored to win this. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who is your favorite, your personal favorite, and who do you think would do best for Ukraine at Eurovision? Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you did like the video. And if you don't want to miss any of my other videos, I do news videos, videos on Eurovision history, predictions on who will win Eurovision. So please subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And then I'll see you for my next video. See you then and bye-bye.